Hi, this is Mike with Page1 Property Management. We provide quality multifamily apartments in the Rockford, Illinois market, and you just happen to own them. Today, let's take a look at leases. We get asked by landlords quite often about, well, we require our tenants to sign a 1-year lease. After that first year, should we require them to renew that lease or allow that lease to roll over into a month-to-month option? We at Page1 Property Management recommend that that lease is renewed on a yearly basis and not allowed to roll over into a month-to-month basis. Let's take a look at a few of the reasons why. First, in the lease, we want to have specific language that lets the tenant know that every year there's going to be a rent increase. Maybe not large, but there is going to be a rent increase on a yearly basis. By having the tenant renew that lease on a yearly basis, it allows us to get their signature and their approval, or at least saying that they acknowledge the fact that there's a rent increase and they know it's coming the next time they receive their monthly invoice. So having a tenant renew gives us something in writing, again, that shows that they understand that there is a rent increase, makes it easier for us to collect that rent increase, and if there is an issue down the road, we have something in writing that shows they understood that fact and makes it easier for us in a court to support why we're charging what we're charging on a monthly basis. Next, the tenant also has items that they want the landlord to take care of. Through the lease, the landlord is required to take care of certain maintenance items, and there are things in the apartments that many times the tenants just don't let us know are an issue. So that yearly basis, it allows us to do that walkthrough to find those maintenance items that the landlord is required to do per the lease. And honestly, the landlord wants to do because it maintains the value of their property in a much better way. We're able to find those items and tell the tenant we're going to take care of these items within the next 30 days and increases the satisfaction level of the tenant. They're much more likely to continue to renew their lease in your property because they know that you as the landlord are going to take care of the items that are required in the lease, even though the tenant may not have brought them to our attention. That really raises your level of trustworthiness in the eyes of that tenant. Next, when a lease goes month to month and a tenant gets another job or decides to move out, guess what? They can do it with no recourse. They can pack up in the middle of the night and leave. They can give us a 30-day notice if they choose. They can give us a 14-day notice if they choose and leave with very little notice, leaving you with a vacant space that needs to be cleaned and another tenant found. That's going to cost you dollars. So in our leases, we have a option written in that gives the tenant an option to leave their lease early, but in order to do that, they need to provide either a 1 or a 2 month prepayment of the next 1 or 2 months rent as payment to get out of their lease early. So you can call it an early termination option. If your lease goes to a month-to-month basis, you don't have that protection. If you require that tenant to sign a renewal option on a yearly basis and renew that lease, if they need to leave early, we give them that option in their lease, so we don't need to chase a tenant through the court system for a tenant who's not paying their rent. They're going to provide notice that they're moving out on a much higher percentage basis than if that lease is on a month-to-month basis. We're going to have the ability to get in and get a list of work orders that need to be done, be prepared and get that unit ready to lease much more quickly, and you as the property owner are going to have either 1 or 2 months rent prepaid by that tenant because they paid their early termination option. Now, if we lease that space in 30 days, we're going to give 1 month's rent back to the tenant who left, especially if that tenant had a 2-month prepayment option. They paid 2 months, we leased it in 30 days. It's not fair that we receive or you receive rent double for that second month. So we will return that second month of prepaid rent to the tenant who left the property, assuming we're able to lease that space in 30 days. So that's another reason why we recommend that your leases are renewed on a yearly basis. The first one is we can do a yearly rent increase. The tenant understands it and acknowledges it. Secondly is we're able to go through and view the space through a yearly walkthrough and make sure the tenant is upholding their end of the deal and how they're maintaining your space. And we're also able to take care of the maintenance items that the landlord is required to do, increasing the experience level for the tenant. And also, We're able to have an option in the leases that provides the tenant an out without the landlord losing rental dollars because the tenant took a job or needed to move or whatever comes up in their lives. It gives us the option to maintain a rental income flow for you while getting a space ready for a new tenant. And so those are the main reasons why we recommend that the leases are a year to year with a renewal option and not go month to month. This is Mike with Page1 Property Management. We provide quality multifamily apartments in the Rockford, Illinois market, and you just happen to own them. If we don't currently manage your property, we would like to. Feel free to use the Contact Us Now button on our website or call me directly at 815-320-4090. Thanks, and talk to you soon.